Alright, hey guys, Lux99 here coming at you with another review. This time I am reviewing WWE Smackdown for July 11th, 2014. But before we get started with today's review, I have a little shout out to make to a friend on Xbox. Beasting King 14 is his name. So add him as a friend on Xbox. And that's his little shout out. So there you go, and let's get started with the review. The city was Ottawa, Canada. Commentators were JBL and Michael Cole. And I was kind of surprised we kicked off Smackdown with Rusev, just because I don't know, I didn't expect a little hype up for the main event, but I guess they wanted this to have a feeling of a big fight matchup. So and right away JBL referenced Gorilla Monsoon, which is awesome because Monsoon is one of my favorite commentators of all time. Lana cuts her typical promo, and then Reigns comes out. Reigns is just such a badass. He tells Rusev that this is his ring, and then he challenges Rusev to the match right away. But unfortunately Rusev backs away, and they will fight later in the main event. This actually really got me excited for the main event. It really hyped it up, because you have one side Rusev is undefeated, but then on the other side Reigns is in the Battleground main event and has a shot to win the championship. So both are riding on huge waves of momentum right now. So I wasn't really sure if who was going to walk away with the victory. AJ Lee versus Cameron was our first match for tonight. AJ versus Paige was announced for Battleground, so that should be a really, really good match. Hopefully they don't make it another short one. They actually give them time and allow them to show off their skills. Cameron puts lip gloss on at the very beginning and then attacks AJ with it. Cameron actually had a really nice double underhook submission of where she had both arms in, but she bridged herself, so that was really cool. Very aggressive from Cameron overall. AJ eventually comes back, hits an awesome spinning heel kick. Cameron tries to walk out, but then Naomi throws her back in the ring, and AJ hits an awesome Shining Wizard for the win. It was a decent match. Cameron is way better as a heel than she was as a face, and Naomi versus Cameron is looking really good right now. I think it's announced for Battleground, but I could be wrong. But I have a feeling it's going to be a good match, and I finally think Naomi's going to bring something out of Cameron. And AJ's looking very strong going into Battleground right now for her title match, so that's good as well. Then Orton is interviewed about the Battleground main event here tonight, where he faces Chris Jericho. Up next was Fandango versus Adam Rose. Rose is actually kind of over in Canada, so that's good. I said before on my Superstars review how they need to give the character a little bit more time, because I heard a rumor that they are sending him back down to NXT, and I really hope they don't do that, because I think that the gimmick needs some more time. Summer tried to make Fandango jealous with being with Rose. This wasn't even really a match, because Summer and Layla started fighting on the outside. Fandango tries to break it up and eventually is counted out. So Rose wins by countout. It's a party foul after the match, after Fandango tries to attack him. And like I said, this wasn't even a match. It just progressed the feud of Summer versus Layla a little bit. And then after that, Jericho is interviewed about his match at Battleground against Bray Wyatt and Orton tonight. Up next was a new tag team, Slater and Titus versus the tag team champions as the Usos. And I think this new team with Slater and Titus actually has some potential to be great. I have a feeling that it could be the start of that rumored disgruntled wrestler faction that we heard about quite some time ago, but I doubt they'll do that. But I actually think this could be a good tag team. Slater has like the fast-paced offense, more technical style, while Titus is just this big, powerful guy that can do all of the heavy work for the team. So I think they actually have some potential, and we didn't really get to see much of them in this match, so hopefully they have more matches and they get to show some chemistry and some cool double team moves and stuff like that. Titus right away hits a clothesline on Jimmy, and then Slater hits an awesome kick on Jimmy. Jimmy eventually hits a Samoan drop of where he catapults him in the air and catches him for a Samoan drop. Titus then eventually saves the match. He gets super kicked by Jay. Slater then gets super kicked in midair, and the Usos hit the splash for the easy win. This was kind of a squash. It made the Usos look good though, and because they really need to when they're going up against the Wyatts in a 2 out of 3 falls match at Battleground for the Tag Team Championships, which I think is going to be an amazing match. I'm really looking forward to that one. And like I said, hopefully they give some more time to this new team, because I think it could be great. The Usos are then interviewed after the match, and they actually cut a pretty cool promo, so I really enjoyed that segment. Jericho versus Randy Orton. Before the match, Wyatt sings to Chris Jericho, and right away these two were going right after each other. Jericho hits a nice drop kick, and Orton tries to go outside to regroup, and then finally gets back on the apron, and Jericho hits a triangle drop kick for a nice little cool spot there at the beginning. We come back from the commercial break. Orton hits a nice clothesline and rose Jericho over the top, which was really cool. Orton then starts to use the steel steps, hits a back suplex on the barricade, which is always really brutal and really cool when Orton does that. Orton then taunts to the crowd. Jericho rules him up for 2. Orton then hits another clothesline. Orton then starts to wear down Jericho with a headlock. Jericho comes back with a belly-to-back suplex to get out of it. Jericho then starts to come back with huge, like his normal offense clotheslines, shoulder blocks, and then Orton throws him outside the ring, but Jericho holds onto the top rope and then goes up top for a double axe handle. He then goes to the walls. Orton counters it and hits a power slam. Jericho kicks out at 2. Jericho hits a crossbody for 2. He then locks in the walls of Jericho, but Orton gets to the ropes, barely. Orton then hits a rope DDT, which is a really cool way to set it up, because Orton was pulling himself up from when he got to the ropes from walls. Jericho was running at him. Orton pulled down the top rope. Jericho goes over. Then Jericho tried to get back in the ring by standing on the ring apron. Orton kicked him and hits the rope DDT. That was a really cool way to set it up in a cool spot there. They go back and forth for a little bit more. Jericho hits a lion salt. Wyatt's play their burp burp burp. That was terrible, but it eventually distracts Jericho, and then Orton hits the RKO for the win. I thought this was a really good match. It was the right finish. Orton needed the win looking into Battleground, even though he already is in this established guy, and people saying he doesn't really need victories, but he really needs to look strong going into Battleground. He can't lose all of his non-title matches before then. And, Jericho looks strong, and it actually progressed the Jericho-Wyatt feud, because I feel that it needed a incentive for them to face each other. Like, we really don't have a reason for it, and I think that could just help a little bit with that. Let's see here. Yeah, overall this was just a great match. Up next was Layla versus Summer Rae, with the special guest referee being Fandango. This was these three's second appearance tonight, which was kind of crazy. And this was a Money in the Bank rematch. Layla and Summer Rae kind of just team up on Fandango and beat the crap out of him, and then they become best friends. This was very confusing of how they just became best friends. I guess it's a face term for both of them, but I guess we'll see in the near future. Hopefully they explain it, because they're just kind of confusing of how they were like complete rivals and they hated each other, and now they're besties. And I thought this was the worst part of the night. It was just filler. Up next was Goldust versus Curtis Axel. They had a nice, really cool exchange at the start. Dropkick by Axel. He has one of the best in the business right now. Stardust distracts Axel, and then Goldust hits a huge shot. hits his little comeback, hits a power slam, and eventually hits the director's cut for the win. Ryback tries to attack, and then Stardust takes him out by blowing the Stardust in his face and pulling down the top rope. This was a decent match. Unfortunately, though, Stardust's antics at ringside kind of distracted from the ring action and kind of just took away from the match. I still love the Stardust and Goldust team, though. I think it's so innovative, and Cody is really doing good with this gimmick. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I personally really do. I just feel that they need to get away from Ryback, so this feud's kind of getting drawn out, and I don't know, I'd like to see something different. Maybe see Goldust and Stardust challenge for the tag team titles of once the Wyatts, if the Wyatts win the belt at Battleground. Up next was Bo versus the Lost Matadors. Bo dominates and hits a Bodog for the win. There wasn't really anything to the match. Bo's just so funny, though, and he's one of my favorite characters, because he like slammed Torito after the match, and then he's saying that he didn't mean to, and that Torito was hurt. Then he hits the Bodog on him. I just love this character. He's so awesome. And finally, we had the main event, which was Rusev versus Reigns. There was just a huge big fight feel to it. I wasn't really sure of who was going to win. I said that before. Reigns dominates in the early goings with shots and clotheslines. Rusev then takes control during the break by slamming Reigns into the steel steps and hitting a clothesline, and just hits a huge spinning heel kick. That was a really cool, very athletic spot from Rusev, and then he hits another really good kick. Rusev then dominates for quite some time. Reigns eventually fights out of a rest hold to come back, hits a huge shot, huge clothesline, Samoan drop, hits his drop kick, Superman punch, goes for the spear, but Orton comes down, and Reigns wins by DQ. Rusev then hits the super kick and walks out. Orton hits the RKO. It was a good match. I actually really enjoyed it because you could just feel the importance during it, but I just think it was unnecessary for Rusev to suffer his first loss via DQ, but I'm still fine with it because he looks strong, and I don't really think it's going to halt his really big push right now. Match tonight, I'm going to have to give it to Jericho and Orton. I really enjoyed their match. It was very competitive, and I just overall enjoyed that match the best tonight. Overall show, it was a decent Smackdown, not the best though. Only the main event and the Jericho match really stood out for me. Everything else was either filler, and there wasn't really furthering a bunch of storyline. It was just kind of a repeat of Raw. But, you know, it was still a decent match. You got two good matches out of it, and it was just overall a fine show. So that's going to be all for the review. Like I said, shout out to Beasting King 14, and I guess I'll see you guys later. Bye.